Hey, everybody, welcome back to Burn the Ship, the podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to go all in and connects them with professionals that can help them do it. And today's guest is Dr. Kimberely Sanders, and she is going to tell us her story and about what she's learned with communication and just building your company. Thank you so much for taking the time out to talk to me today.
Well, thank you for having me on the show today. Yeah.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my background started off in the medical field. Did over 20 years in the medical field where I did work with a lot of kids, pediatrician. I have 9 years background with the corporate field, as well as I have over 20 years experience working with nonprofit organizations, from volunteering to serving on the board to helping them start their own nonprofit organization.
Okay, that's awesome. So when did you originally start?
My organization or just helping in general?
Helping in general. And then your
It's
organization.
Yeah, it's been something I've been doing over 20 years. A lot of boys, nonprofit that I'm a part of, I've have 10 plus years with them, working with them, doing things. But I've been doing this for over 20 years, helping them develop their own nonprofit organizations.
Awesome. And when did yours start?
I started focusing on my organization about 5 years ago. I knew that I wanted to do something different and something on my own in order to be able to help. And so I started at that time, about 5 years ago, doing my research and planning out the structure of my organization.
Okay. And where are you guys at?
We're global, but we originated in Texas, but we have locations in the U.S. as well as in South Africa and the U.K.
Okay, so you got a global reach.
Yes.
So tell us what your company does. What is your nonprofit?
We provide life-changing services and resources to human trafficking victims, as well as women that are newly released from the prison system.
And that's amazing. And the name of your company is SisterZ?
SisterZ, yes, SisterZ with Hope and Faith.
That's incredible. So how did you realize that this is the area that you wanted to really focus in on this human trafficking?
Like I said, about 5 years ago, when I started really researching what I wanted to do, I see where the number of human trafficking victims and the lack of resources for women were becoming increasing. So I started to do a lot of workshops, research, as well as interviewing human trafficking victims and women that are newly released from the prison, kind of see what their background was. And that would help me determine that, the lack of resources and services that were for these ladies was the primary reason why they ended up in the situation they were in.
Yeah. So it just kind of really resonated with you that these people need help?
Yes, after interviewing them and seeing that where they were came about because of the lack of resources, made me want to do something in order to try to fill that gap between them and society.
Yeah, I know that a lot of people I'm a judge me or whatever, but I'm a huge Kim Kardashian fan. So all she does with like the Justice Reform Project, that really interests me as well, because there's so many people that are, wrongly convicted, people that have been extremely damaged, like human trafficking victims, that just don't know how to get their life back on the right track. And So providing those services that you are doing is key to helping them with the rest of their life.
Yes.
So you've become basically an expert with communication and networking. So tell us how that has helped you develop your business.
As you know, nonprofit, we get our resources, help, and funding from, selling ourselves to people, getting people to want to partner with us, sponsor us, make donations. So over the time and being able to get the services I need, it put me in a position where I had to communicate with more people and to be able to let them know, basically sell not my services and what we were doing in order to be able to expand. So that gave me and it still does give me a lot of helped me a lot because I spent a lot of times doing things like this, interviews and talking to people and trying to, as well as the victims the clients that we have, just trying to communicate with them and let them know the services that we offer and how we're different from other organizations.
Yeah, and I know that we're in Atlanta, or we're right outside of Atlanta, and I know that Atlanta is a huge hub for sex trafficking.
Yes.
My grandmother has embedded that in my head for many,
Right.
many years.
Yes.
So, obviously, communication is huge with especially nonprofits because you do have to reach out to people and really get what you care about and really
Right.
show the value that you specifically can bring to
Right.
these victims. So, how can other people reach out and help you kind of get involved?
We're on the organization as well as myself is on LinkedIn. We can be found under Sisters with Hope and Faith .org, as well as we're on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and also our website that you can go to www.sisterswithhopeandfaith.org. And it has information that they can reach out to us and we'll contact them back.
So, how has developing this changed your life?
Well, it made me to really stop and think and actually put the needs of others before mine. And that's something that I have two daughters that I've always tried to teach them to do. But doing this on my really stepping out and leaving the corporate world and the medical field and do this for a time to focus on helping these women helped me to see how important it is to look within others and put them before you at times as far as when you're trying to provide services to them. A lot of people overlook, if it's not in their front door or right there, they overlook it. But I feel that it's with me that it's helped me to be able to look beyond what's going on right in front of, well, say in my own backyard.
Right. Yeah. That sucks sometimes that it has to be
Right.
kind of pushed in your face in order for you to
Right.
realize what an issue it is. So, how do you work with the clients that are not clients, but with the other groups that are outside of the US?
Well, what happens, like for our locations that we have, like in South Africa, yeah, we have a team of volunteers and employees over there that head up those projects over there. But all of our services that we provide for our clients are offered virtually and face to face. So no matter where they're located at, they're able to get the same services that someone over here in the U.S. would be able to get. But we do have a team, a South Africa team that's over there that's really heading up that project in South Africa.
That's so cool. That's awesome that you guys can actually be global and help other people because I knew the US is pretty privileged for the most part. So,
Oh, yes.
reaching out there and getting involved with them is incredible. So, I'm curious, how do you, because it is such a dark world around that, how have you been able, outside of the prison system, been able to find women that have been trafficked?
We partner with a lot of different organizations as well as law enforcement, and I'm also partnered with Homeland Security. So when they come in contact with these victims, they notify us, and we go and rescue them or bring them in. But we work with other organizations to get our clients.
Okay. And do you guys have any sort of like housing or anything set up for the victims to
Yes, we
get them
do.
out of what's that area of getting them out of that?
Well, what happens is with our program, we house the ladies in our program for a minimum of 6 months to a year. That's just a minimum depending on what their needs are. So when we get them in, they do come in, we house them and we provide them different services in order to make sure that they can be successful when they return back into society. From anything from social services, we come in contact with some victims that are undocumented. We work with the necessary immigration attorneys to get that done, as well as counseling services to work on really restoring the ladies, not just emotionally, but mentally and physically as well. And when they do leave our program, we have secured them permanent homes, permanent housing, as well as employment.
That is literally incredible. That's something that's so needed. I really respect you for getting involved with that.
Thank you.
I've worked with nonprofits before, but it's always been like in Nicaragua. So I'm a big fan of nonprofits like that. So back to the communication skill. How would you encourage our audience to network more and get their name out there? Because other entrepreneurs that are watching this, they're like, our podcast is called Burn the Ship because you take that leap of faith, burn your ship down, don't look back, go all in with something that you're passionate about, which you are obviously very passionate about what you do. So what would you tell them?
Well, I would say what's been very helpful to me is LinkedIn. Really being a part of LinkedIn and getting there and networking, just being on there and being having a presence on LinkedIn has helped me in so many ways because I've had people to reach out to me where I reach out to people, they connect me to other people. So that's been a very big help and success for my organization. I've actually been able to connect with over 30 some volunteers for my organization just from LinkedIn.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
So have you always been good at communication, or did you kind of have to learn your way into it?
Well, it was kind of learned the way. I always been in a position where I did have to being in the medical field, being able to communicate with the parents and the patients, but just never on this level. Even on the corporate side, where I was a VP there, I had to communicate, but never where I was basically having to sell myself or sell my services. Mm-hmm. So this has gave me the experience and the training to be able to do that.
Okay. So if you were to do anything else, or how would you grow your business actually? Like, do you want to just reach more countries?
Well, with our organization, it's not just reaching, we're global, just not reaching other countries, but also getting more of the community involved. That's my goal, is to educate the communities, because not only are the communities uneducated about what human trafficking is and the signs, but a lot of them don't even acknowledge it because they are uneducated about it. So my thing would be to educate the community in the world globally on what human trafficking is.
So go ahead and tell us your handles for Instagram, all that jazz, so that we can get people to follow you and pay attention to your project.
Yeah, with all our handles, even with all of them, we're out there under SisterZWithHopeandFaith.org on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Okay. So one last thing. Tell us what burning your ship has done for you in your life.
Burning my ship?
Yes.
What has it done for me in my life? It has opened my eyes to a lot of things that I would say that, again, like I said earlier, that I maybe didn't pay attention to before. It's gave me the opportunity and to educate me on things that that was right there in front of me that I overlooked. So it also has helped me to be able to look at things in a different light. For that, where I say that I'm a woman and I have 2 kids and I could have been one of those victims, or my girls could have been there. So it has helped me to look at everything just not as privileged as before.
Yeah, that's so great. I can't say that enough. I can't tell you how much I respect it and how much we need more people like you in the world.
Oh, thank you.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come out and talk to me. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate all the work that you're doing. It's something that everybody needs to pay more attention to. So y'all go look her up, pay attention to the cause, get involved. Let's do what we can to help the women of the world.
Right. And thank you for having me on the show.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right. Bye, y'all.